Hello, today we're going to go over some basic shapes that you can make with a NeoCube. One of them being the cube that you see here. First, let's go over some different basic shapes. Now the first shape that we're going to make is the triangle. The triangle comes in different sizes, however the most common used triangles are the 6-sphere triangles and the 9-sphere triangles. Now with the 9-sphere triangle, just make sure you have 9 of these little spheres. Make a little ball like such. Then you pinch down on 3 of them there, so it makes kind of a little point. Now while holding that in your hand like that, you push in with your other thumb and you can make the 9-sphere triangle. Now with the 6-sphere triangle, it's kind of the same thing. You make a little ball first, you pinch down on 3 of them to make a little point, and then with your thumb you just bring in this last one, and that makes a 6-sphere triangle. So those are the triangles. Now before we move on to our next shape, I kind of want to go over real quick on what interlink connections are versus non-interlink connections. Well, now these are magnets and they behave just like regular magnets. Polar opposites attract, same poles repel. And right here we can see that these are the same pole. Now if I turn this around, it attracts. Now here is what a non-interlinked connection looks like. You can tell that the spheres are on top of each other directly. Now a interlink connection is kind of like forcing it together, and it looks something like that, where they're connecting on more than just the top and the bottom of the other spheres. Now the next shape we're going to be creating is a hexagon. Now the hexagon's middle is comprised of 6 of these spheres. So here's 6 of the spheres, and then you touch, a group of magnets to it. Now if I went this way, it would make it non-interlinked. However, a hexagon is interlinked, so we're going to have to go kind of the easy way. Because if I was to go this way, it'd be like forcing it together. But if I go the other way, it's more easy and it's not like forcing it. So we go this way, and it just kind of snaps real nice and easy. And we go all the way around one time, and you make a hexagon. Now you can go around multiple times to make a bigger hexagon, but this is the main size that you usually want to work with when working with your NeoCube. Now let me give you another example of interlinked versus non-interlinked. If I put these two together, you can see that they're interlinked. They're touching multiple sides of these spheres. However, if I turn this around, now they're non-interlinked. Now another way of making the hexagon is to just count down 6 of these spheres on a line and connect the end to the 6th one. And it kind of makes a line with a little loop. And then you can just wrap it around and make your hexagon. Whichever way you find works for you best is probably the way that you should go. Now the next shape that we're going to be doing is the pentagon. Now just like the hexagon, there are 2 different ways of making it, and here's the first way. First you need 15 of the spheres. Here's a group of 5. You connect those into a little circle like so, and then here's the group of 10. Now here comes the interlinking and the non-interlinking. If I do this correct and make it interlinking, then it'll work just fine, and I can put that one right in the other one, see, like this. And I can just kind of move it around a little bit and it becomes a pentagon. However, the other way is very similar to the hexagon. Instead of counting down 6 and then touching the end to it, we count down 5 and then touch this end to the 5th one. And then we just wrap it around. However, this time it makes kind of a 3D shape, so we kind of have to, make a little bit of a angle on it, like so. And there you go. But the main pentagon is 15 of these spheres. So just as long as you have 15, you should be fine. Just play around with it a little bit. You'll have it. Now for our last shape, what we're going to do is make the NeoCube itself. And in order to do that, we're going to make a full string. And I know it's a lot of a lot of NeoCubes. It's a lot. So what we're going to do is make sure you have a full line like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of guess what a third of it is. And what we're going to do is when we get to the part we think is a third of the line, we're going to connect it like this, which makes it, of course, non-interlinked. And it's going to just kind of go with the flow all the way down. Now we get down to here where it ended, and we then take this extra part that, you know, we still have, and we then bend it over on this side and let it go all the way down this line. Now, I didn't guess right, and I'm sure you guys won't guess right all the time either. Sometimes I get lucky, but not all the time. So what I have is some extra here, and what I want to do is I'm just going to kind of go back and forth, connecting 3 at a time, and when I have that, I will be ready to move on. Okay, so now I have that. Now basically what I have is a row or a string of 3, you know, separate rows. Now all I have to do is bring these 2 together and connect them. And it's going to zip all the way down. Then we turn it over like so. And we can see that there's 3 of them here that we just need to separate, and that takes a little bit of practice. So if you don't get it on the first try, don't give up. Making the NeoCube is about practice. Now once we have 6 rows of these, then we can go ahead and count down 6 spheres and then bend it over and very carefully place it. Now making the NeoCube takes a lot of practice and a lot of patience. So if you don't get it on the first try, don't give up. It took me quite a while. Now once you have that, then it's pretty easy. You just fold it over again like so. Now you have a group, you know, a solid group of 3. You're halfway there. Bend it over again here very carefully. Make sure you kind of just make sure they're all nice and snug. Just a little bit of a squeeze here and there, not too much or you'll, you know, ruin it. And then the last time right here. Now the last one sometimes is the trickier one. You kind of just want to make sure you line up the ends before you make sure that these are all correct. Kind of just push down very gently. And there you go. You have the NeoCube. And then you can try to learn how to split it. That's always fun. And there are ways of splitting it easier than others. I'm not really going to go into that. That just takes a lot of practice and a lot of patience as well. So hopefully you learned something from this tutorial. Make sure to look for some more of my tutorials on how to make other shapes.